Any plans for the holiday weekend?
Not much. Definitely some barbecuing. So, of
right,
course, I'm looking towards Bobby Deskins to find
check
out what
with
I can
him.
expect.
Right at lunchtime. As soon as you get hungry,
Right.
That's when you get
start
ready.
cooking. Because the later we work into each afternoon, the more storms we'll see. And there'll even be a few in the evening hours as well, too, with this moisture coming in. Got to tell you right now, guys, these storms that are just along the coast here in Pinellas County, 1,000 people without power. Over right towards East Lake Woodlands area, Boot Ranch still. That one is starting to fall apart a little bit. Strong one right there over top of Sun City Center that's headed towards Apollo Beach as well, too. There's more where that came from, and yeah, that's kind of trying to get here for the weekend. It's not going to be a rainout. There'll be a lot of clouds around, and there will be some extra showers each afternoon. I'll talk about it coming up in my full forecast. Here's Irma. We're not too worried about Irma at this point. It is a strong storm, 120 mile per hour winds. That's Category 3 now. This thing's 2,500 miles from us, so we're not really worried about it. But look at this thing. I mean, that's a good-looking eye to it, and that's the reason why the numbers went back up. Here's the latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center as of 5 p.m. And you see there are the Leeward Islands right there. It's thinking it's probably going to be just to the northeast of that, but this is 5 days out, so it's got a lot of time to be watched. And certainly when you start talking about whether or not we're watching it for you, we got plenty of time for us to watch it.
All right, so look, Bobby, we have to talk about something that's all over Facebook. A lot of people are circulating this on social media, and it is a fake path, right, for Hurricane Irma. It's, you know, it's like, what, do you have better things to do with your time? But it's freaking a lot of people out, because when you see it, you're thinking, what is going on here? So, okay, let me explain what's going on here. It's a fake forecast tracker. It shows Hurricane Irma's path, and it shows it as if it's reaching towards Texas.
Right at Houston, almost.
Of course, and this is a fake, as you can see there. The person who posted this is urging people to keep an eye on Irma and saying it's projected to become a Category 4 storm that heads into the Gulf of Mexico.
Which is actually kind of true, because that was part of the forecast yesterday. But they do not do forecasts. That is completely fake. That guy's from Texas. Put it on his Facebook page and went viral yesterday. Let me explain to you what a real forecast looks like. So what that guy did, he basically took a graphic like this from the National Hurricane Center and he photoshopped it. And he put his own information into it to make it look like this. He's got this Hurricane Center cone, which it's not. It's his own cone that he drew, taking it all the way in. And he put the times. It makes it look real. This is not real. This is fake. And in fact, it should look like this. So if you're ever wondering, you see something like that, come to a trusted source. You can trust us here. We will help you out. Go to my Facebook page. Go to WTSP.com. Go to the National Hurricane Center forecast. They will only put out 5-day forecasts for this cone. That's 3 days. That's 5 days. That's the real one. And I don't understand why people do it. That's what they do. That is certainly fake, so please don't pass it around if you happen to see it.
Houston proud.
Houston proud.
Yeah, Houston proud.
Yeah, amen. H-Town bound, baby.
I think being a Houstonian is just giving love.
Helping other people and fellow Texans.
Houston proud, Houston strong. That's the feeling across the hurricane-ravaged city tonight. Businesses and roads are starting to open back up, but in Fort Bend County, water still is flooding a lot of homes there. But it's not the stuff some families are worried about. It's their pets.
In a time when many feel broken, there is that special friend that can help you get through. And law enforcement officers in Fort Bend County made it their mission to bring pets out of the flooded homes and back to their owners.
I have to say the American spirit is alive and well here in Fort Bend County.
By boat, they took off.
You're probably looking at 6 to 8 inches.
No matter what kind of pet, these heroes made these rescues a priority.
Luckily, she was okay.
After realizing it could be some time before the water went down, the calls started coming in. And less than 24 hours later, they got several boats ready to go.
We brought some boats out here this morning to accomplish that mission. We've been very successful. We've had some instances where we were not successful, and that's sad to report, but for the most cases, this has been very positive.
Along the way, this struggling deer was also given a helping hand.
Chip, say hi.
And when they approached their homes, some pets knew. Their owners made it home.
It's a little bit of saving grace. You know, they're going in there with us, they're seeing the devastation of their home, but they're recovering their animals.
Because in the end, these pets, family, are what matter most.
You're so happy.
You could see the tears in their eyes and your anxiety as they enter the home. But once they're reunited with their animal, they feel very good about it. And it makes us all feel good.
All right, and another sweet rescue. A lot of you are sharing on Facebook today. What a cutie. Gregory Pletcher was doing rescues in Cypress, Texas, when he found this sweet little kitten crying under the hood of a car stuck in floodwaters. I don't know about you, but we have seen so many different images out of, Harvey in Houston. The one that really has stuck with me is the one where everyone's in that human chain and they get into the water and they get that elderly man out of the water and carry him away. It was incredible to see.
And remember, at first we didn't realize how big that was. That was a long chain of people.
Oh yeah,
right.
Definitely.
I like I mean, it's hard to say but this has really brought, it almost feels like the country together after what we've been through over the last several weeks before that.
Oh yeah.
All the things that we fight about and we argue about on social media.
The Confederate statute issue,
Charlottesville,
North Korea, Kim Jong.
Russia.
It's like all of that was pushed to the back burner with this natural disaster. And what Americans do each and every time, Republican, Democrat, Independent, North, South, it doesn't matter.
Whatever
it's like
religion.
when they need help, we got people responding from all over that are pulling together, working together to try to get these folks some help and get their lives back in order.
You don't look at this video. You do not see a lot of first responders. They're out there, but they're scattered everywhere.
All over.
There's just so many people helping that you see more civilian helpers.
Yeah.
Just because of that, and there's all kinds of crazy damage. And I'm telling you, it's nice to know that while you see all this stuff on TV about how bad the country is and how bad we all are, it's not really like that.
No,
it's not that bad.
No, it isn't.
A fantastic
This brings
reminder.
reality. The real America really comes out in situations and events like this. And I tell you what, I'm not surprised by the response, especially people from the Bay Area. And Texas Cares, they have just been pulling in the money.
The generosity is absolutely amazing. All week, Reggie, we of course, have asked you to donate to the Red Cross Fund for these victims, and you have more than delivered to date. Look, we have raised $2 million, and you can still donate. Just go to WTSP.com/Texas Cares, or you can click on Texas Cares in our 10 News app. Again, all donations go directly to the American Red Cross Hurricane Harvey Disaster Relief Fund.
10 investigates, asking tough questions tonight as to why Sarasota County is being so secretive about public tax dollars. Sarasota learned today that the state will fork over $20 million to help build a new Atlanta Braves spring training park in Northport, but the county still won't show us the deal they're cutting with the team. That's why investigative reporter Noah Pransky keeps fighting to hold officials accountable.
Reggie, some people are excited about this news. The Braves, hey, looks like they're coming to Sarasota County, but we did catch Sarasota County officials in a fib in February about this. They claim they ran the numbers and tens of millions of dollars invested in the stadium were guaranteed to pay for itself. But when we asked for that analysis, they admitted it didn't actually exist. So now we're fighting for more records. We kept fighting back then too. We went to court almost to get public negotiation documents, which we were finally able to get and finally able to use to warn county commissioners about some hidden costs the Braves wanted the county to absorb. We're talking about a $75 million taxpayer-funded stadium in Northport off West Villages Parkway, just south of the State College of Florida. So fast forward to today now, and we're fighting for records again, since the county won't reveal anything about its negotiations with the team, even though those documents should be public records, and even though commissioners are scheduled to vote on it in just 11 days.
It very well may be that we're working right up until the deadline. So when it's ready for publication, I would assume that obviously it will be available for you at that time, at the latest.
So here's the thing, Reggie. Those documents, those draft agreements, are supposed to be available for public review. And this is a county that doesn't have a good track record with private negotiations over tax dollars. They were burned in a film deal with Sanborn Studios, and they were burned in a baseball deal when the Baltimore Orioles promised the Cal Ripken Youth Facility there.
Remember that.
But the county never got it in writing, and the team never delivered that facility.
Now, Noah, you're just trying to get records to warn taxpayers about taxpayer money.
Yeah, I mean, the county has a lot to lose when you're dealing with some private companies like this. Millions and millions of maintenance costs over time, not to mention the strength of actually keeping the Braves to this lease over decades. You know, these are important legal questions that should be vetted out there. We've been able to warn county commissioners about it in the past. We just want to do it again. But the more secretive that the county staffers make this, the less we can do our job and the tougher it is on taxpayers.
Why are they hiding public records? I mean, it's the law.
It's a good question for your public officials, and we're going to keep them honest, Reg.
All right, thank you, Noah.
All right, so this next video is just crazy when you think about it. All right, so Alex, you have a woman in a Michigan Walmart who pulls a gun over a notebook.
Can't make it.
All right, so here's what police say happened. A 20-year-old woman went to grab the last notebook. Two other women pulled the 20-year-old's hair. Okay, now follow me here. The 20-year-old's mother pulled a gun on the woman pulling her daughter's hair. All right, so the woman with the gun has a concealed weapons permit. Police are working with prosecutors to determine if the gun was pulled in self-defense. And Alex, of course, this is trending on Facebook.
Yeah, as it should be. And a lot of people are wondering, you know, how was everybody able to just walk out of this Walmart like nothing ever happened?
Well, you see that one guy in the video, he just turns an about face and runs right out of there.
Well, you know what? Susan thinks this woman is a psycho. She also thinks she should have her concealed weapons permit taken away, adding, can we say nut job? Well, Dee says the first mistake was going to Walmart. She says the second would be touching my child. And to her, touch my child and all bets are off. Joy had a different perspective. If the woman with the gun had been black or native, do you think she would have gone home safely? Nope. She'd be on the ground, hurt, or even dead. The woman with the gun should not have been allowed to leave. And finally, to Seamus, the bottom line is, it's ridiculous to fight over a notebook. At first, there was no question in my mind who did wrong, the woman who pulled the gun. But then he says, if she actually feared for her daughter's safety, and if any ordinary person would be fearful in this situation, then she had every right to pull it out. Now, the obvious question, because this whole thing was over a notebook. Who walked away with a notebook? Well, witnesses on scene at that Walmart say that they think that it was actually the mother-daughter duo, meaning the woman with the gun and her daughter.
Which is pretty obvious that would be the person to walk away with it. I cannot believe that
over a
went
notebook.
down. A notebook, school supplies.
All right, tracking showers and some good thunderstorms out there today. Some of them really slow movers. That was Mahaffey Theater. That is right here in St. Pete, looking off towards downtown Tampa. You can see there some pretty good rain trying to get over South Tampa right there. And if we take you out to the airport, you can see from the Renaissance Hotel International Plaza, rain just went through there. It is now backing down towards the east side of the Howard Franklin Bridge. 80 degrees, cooled the air down quite a bit there. Van Wezel is actually dry now outside, but you can see the showers that actually kind of backed off towards the south and the west. Most areas are not seeing rain right now, but where it is raining hard. This one is finally breaking down over parts of the southern Lake Tarpon area, but that is going to move off towards Palm Harbor and eventually over towards Innisbrook here. It's just about there right now. That's had a history of almost 3+ inches of rainfall, 2 to 3 inches, plus a lot of lightning and some power outages there. There's a storm that's firing up right off of Davis Islands. This one's going to try and push to the north as well, too. So if you're on the island, do expect some showers to come through. 2.6 inches estimated by the radar for McMullen Booth and Tampa area, East Lake Woodlands, Boot Ranch. Almost 3 inches out towards Wesley Chapel earlier today. And both areas saw almost 1,000 people without power at times. It's been coming on and off from what I've been able to hear. Now, Hernando, Citrus County, that is a good thunderstorm into the Sugar Mill Woods area. That's going to move northward towards Hernando and Crystal River. I think all of you have a good chance to see at least some rain, but the thunderstorms are heaviest right along the coast, so Pine Island is just kind of right on the border there. Now, if we get back down into the West Chase area, there's some rain, but it's mainly light to moderate rain, and it'll be falling apart over the next half hour. Inland locations, we've had some showers right along Apollo Beach. This is falling apart, good news. But you see this green line going out? That's going to run into these storms, And these storms are going to move all the way up across Polk County through the evening hours, especially the models picking up on that. They should stay inland from the coast. So if you're watching from Longboat Key, Venice, Vamos, Sarasota, up to Bradenton, Anna Maria Island, pretty good evening to be out there on the beaches. But yeah, you see that. Some of this is actually coming through overnight tonight. And what this does, this pulsates. This will go away and it'll come back and go away and come back. But all of it is going to shift off towards the east over the weekend. So it means a lot of clouds, and that does mean, especially in the afternoon and evening hours, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Certainly cooled us off, and we will stay cooler over the weekend. 70s now where it's rained. Most areas in the upper 80s to near 90. Here's the forecast. Let's get your Labor Day weekend forecast for you. There goes the rain moving through Polk County. Here comes some of that rain overnight tonight that I was talking about. But by tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, we're basically dry to get the day started. Still quite a few clouds around, but I think we've got to about 1, 2 o'clock before we really get any of the rain going. After that, especially into the evening hours around sunset, expect more rain to be pushing through. Now, this is Sunday morning. Still dry for the most part, but Sunday afternoon we'll bring back those afternoon showers and storms. I actually think that Saturday's a little wetter than Sunday, so if you're trying to plan, 60% on Saturday, 40% on Sunday, but highs in the upper 80s, and Monday's rain chance about 40 to 30%, so it comes down a little bit. Looks pretty good boating. East to southwest winds around 5 to 10 knots. Allergy forecast looks good. The 7-day forecast does not include anything with Irma here, so we're not worried about that at this point. Coming up in 30 minutes, I'll have the latest on that, but definitely going to have some afternoon showers and storms around both Saturday and Sunday, a few less on Monday, and most of next week seems pretty typical with the heat coming back as we see more sunshine.
A small plane crashed shortly after takeoff from St. Pete's Albert Whitard Airport. Take a look at this. All right, you can see the plane from Sky 10. The Coast Guard tells us 4 people were on the plane when it crashed into the bay. Reggie, Bobby, listen to this. 2 people swam to shore and 2 others had to be pulled from the plane. Crews say all 4 are expected to be okay. Absolutely incredible. All right, so we looked into how many crashes there have been at this airport. The FAA has investigated 2 in the last year. A 3rd crash did not make their scope for investigation. It's been more than a year since the FAA has looked into any crashes at neighboring Peter O. Knight in Tampa.
Tighter workplace laws. The family of a TECO plant worker says this could have saved lives. It's been more than 2 months since an accident at TECO's Big Bend plant that killed 5 people and left 1 person with very severe burns.
All right, this happened while they were doing what was supposed to be routine maintenance, but something, of course, went wrong and they were burned with molten slag. All right, that's why Tampa Representative Kathy Castor is trying to appeal to the nation's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA. She's demanding clearer rules to keep workers safe. 10 News reporter Shannon Valladolid talked with the daughter of one of the victims of the Big Bend plant accident, and she says his death could have been prevented.
It's something that I hope no family ever has to go through.
Heather McCourt lost her father, 60-year-old Michael McCourt, in the TECO accident. He was killed doing work at the plant when temperatures reached more than 1,000 degrees.
All right, we're going to need more than 1 ambulance apparently now.
So now it's 2 patients?
From what I understand, yes.
It was heartbreaking knowing that my father was never going to be there again, you know, that he was never going to pick up the phone when I called, that, you know, my son was never going to get to know his grandfather.
McCourt worked for TECO for over 35 years. He was a senior plant operator at the time. Heather is opening up to us because she says TECO needs to make changes.
That's the reason that these procedures and policy are put in the place to keep people from dying. And obviously they did not follow their own procedures or policies, or something like this wouldn't have happened.
Representative Kathy Castor also wants change. In this letter to OSHA, she says, quote, many slag-related injuries and deaths have occurred in at least 6 states since 2000, wanting significant attention brought to this, quote, dangerous technology.
But something like this on this magnitude could have been prevented, I think.
I sat down with the spokesperson for TECO, Sherry Jacobs, for answers.
What is being done now that this happened? What are the workers expected? Is there more training? What does it look like now?
We immediately made the commitment to stop this type of work on slag tanks while the unit is online until we have more information. In addition to that, we are doing a complete evaluation of all our safety procedures across the company, with special attention being paid to high-risk procedures, such as what they were doing on the slag tank.
Jacobs also addressed the recent Tampa Bay Times investigation that claims this has happened before.
We are looking at the incident from about 20 years ago at the Gannon plant, and it is a big part of our investigation.
In Tampa, Shannon Valladolid, 10 News.
A TICO Family Relief Fund was created. The total amount of donations has not yet been disclosed, but we do know that the community recently raised about $845. 100% of the donations goes directly to the families affected here. If you haven't taken the Selman Expressway lately, well, there are some big changes both above and below the roadway.
But the question is, who's paying for them?